Hello, thank you very much for tuning in to this week's reads. These readings are valid for whenever you come to them. For the tarot portion, I'm using Gilded Tarot Royale by Ciro Marchetti, text by Barbara Moore. The website is llewellyn.com, if I can get it to focus. Feel free to check out any of those social links, of course, and there's the llewellyn.com if you're interested. Supportive Oracle cards. You Are Clairvoyant Oracle cards by Belinda Grace. Illustrated by Elaine Marzin. And the website is rockpoolpublishing.com. .au, A as in apple, U as in umbrella. And last but not least, I use dice. I use a 22-sided dice for the major arcana, substituting 22 for 0 for the Fool. 14-sided dice for the minor arcana, and a 4-sided dice to choose the element for the minor arcana. They came from the dice shop, which is mathartfun.com. I'm not sure if you can see the website. I'll try to get a little closer. mathartfun.com if you're curious to see what's there. Of course, if you'd like a reading by me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information that's below, same email. Thank you very much for watching this part, and let's get into your reading. Hello, Pisces. Thank you very much for tuning into this week's reads. These readings are valid for whenever you come to them. That being said, what do we have for Pisces? Things balancing out. Okay, so need to kind of like, there we go. Whatever the situation is, there's something here that I'm like, I don't like it. But then it's kind of like, why don't I like it later, but it's like I have to go through this piece that I don't like. I have to move something forward. It's time to move something forward, is what I'm getting with the Ace of Wands. It is time to move something forward, but it's kind of like, I feel like I'm having a hard time taking that first step. Whatever this is, I'm having a hard time with the first step on this one, is what I'm getting. Or the current step. I mean, it's a general read. You know, take it as it resonates for you, of course. Have I been information gathering up to this point? Like, what's going on? Something is trying to come forward, and I don't know what's going on here. I need to move forward on something. It's like I need to move forward on something or nothing's going to happen. 4 of Pentacles. I've gotten a lot of it. You've got a lot of information. You've got a lot of information. I need to move forward, though. And it's not lost, and it doesn't mean we have to make great jumps forward. I really do got to start moving something forward. I almost find this obnoxious that I'm going to say what I'm about to say. Because sometimes it's the easiest and the hardest at the same time to just do a little bit every day. I don't know if you've experienced it, you've experienced it. Just to do that little bit every day, it's ironically the easiest and the hardest at the same time. It's just like I just got to not only get it to happen, but keep that tempo every day, right? And it doesn't sound like it's that hard, but it's almost like realizing by doing it that way, it's going to take a long time to get where I want to be. But by not doing it that way at all, it just seems like it overwhelms me and nothing actually happens. So it's kind of like, whatever this is, it does feel like this is the type of situation where just got to start. It's the easiest and hardest thing at the same time. It really does feel that way. And you do have what you need. I'm saying this as a Pisces because I feel like they're showing me something to where they're like, you already have all the information you need to do this. You already got it. But it's kind of like, yeah, but there's always more to learn. It's almost like, true, but you've got enough to get this going. You've got enough to make what you want happen. You're going to get stuck in somebody said this recently to me, and it's not the first time I heard it in my life, but it's like paralysis by analysis. It might be happening here. You got it. They're like, you got this. You got this. And I relate to this, so I hope this doesn't sound bad, but it's almost like, you're finding reasons not to start. I can relate to this. It's a general read, take it with a grain of salt, but by continuing to research, at this point, you're finding reasons not to move forward. Take it with a grain of salt. You have this. You do have this. And I want the next moment to come forward, but they're like, it's the easiest and hardest moment just to start the process. Little by little, every day. And I'm getting like the time is going to pass quicker than you think. By doing a little bit every day, you'd be surprised how far you can get. For some of you, it might be starting a certain vocation or some type of schooling, or maybe there's something like maybe you have to learn a subject, but it's kind of like before I can even get that far, I have to learn enough to know if I really want to do it. So it's kind of like you could start this. I keep seeing like books, and I see like I'm not taking an official course, but I'm like, I can do this. I can actually do this on my own. There's one, it's almost like I'm looking at like maybe there's X amount of courses I have to take, and there's one course that I'm nervous about, and it's kind of like you can sign up for it to start next semester, but you can start reading the book now. It's kind of like they're going to use the same book this semester as they're going to do next semester, and actually I can start reading it now. I can start doing the assignments now, so that way when I actually take it, I'm already way ahead of it, and it's not that bad. For somebody that I feel like that's going to make sense with. You might have a little bit of self-doubt creeping in. I got some hiccups with that one. Kind of like, oh, what if I feel like, what if I don't keep up with it? What if I don't get that far, and I put in just enough work to spend the money but not make it worth it? You can do this. Self-doubt, that's where I feel like what they're saying is like doing a little bit every day, you're going to bring up that strength. It kind of reminds me of getting back into drawing. It took me a couple months to get back to where I was, but it was by doing it every day that I finally got back into it, and I got back to the level I was ready to do what I wanted to do with it. And it took a while, but they're saying you definitely have it. You definitely can do this. It's like, don't let self-doubt defeat you. Try to not let it. Give yourself a chance. Nobody said you had to be perfect. Don't make yourself try to be perfect. Try to get yourself just to start. That's all. Just start. I know that there's something, like, I feel like I'm having a hard time dislodging this rock. I'm having a hard time with it. But, yeah, there might not be that much support around you for this right now, but there doesn't need to be. There doesn't need to be is what I keep getting as well. This is something you can do on your own. This is something that makes sense to you. You have the power to make this happen. I don't see, like, it's not right now, but, like, this is also one of those things when I start moving forward, I'm going to get just so far down the line, and then all of a sudden it just breaks free. And then, like, something that wasn't moving is all of a sudden going to go forward very quickly. So it's kind of like once I break free from that energy, it's like the universe rises up to meet you. I don't know if that makes sense or if that even is the way I should say that. But it's like once I start putting in the effort and I get to a certain level, boom, it's just going to go forward the way it needs to. For some reason, it's just not right now. If you do that easiest, hardest thing to do, there's just going to be a point where it just kind of switches over to the next level. I feel like I'm not even expecting it. It just kind of happens, if that makes sense. It's kind of like I'm realizing all the effort that I put in, now I have to make another choice and I have to keep moving. I'm going to hit this level. I just feel like I'm hitting this level. Like I'm doing a little bit every day, little bit, little bit, little bit, little bit, little bit. And then all of a sudden I'm hitting this moment where I'm realizing I got to keep my momentum, but I need to make a decision. So it's almost like I'm rehashing or I'm rereading, I'm rebuilding what I already know. So if it was a textbook, say there's like 15 chapters in this textbook, just for argument's sake, there's 15 chapters, and I get through the first 5. And then I'm realizing where I'm going, I got to decide like where do I want to apply this information, because like the first 5 chapters make more sense like if I know where I'm going to, like am I, for example, if it was medical, am I going to apply it to radiology? Am I going to apply it to like orthodontics? Am I going to apply it to, neurology? Whatever. The first 5 chapters make sense, but like now where do I want to build from it? And I have to decide, okay, now I've gotten this far, and now that I realize I've gotten this far, now I got to decide where's the next door. Like, just because this book goes to 15 chapters, before I get to the 15th chapter, I have to make a decision of like where I want it to actually build from. So I feel like I'm going to keep going. But I'm like, I have to start really thinking about what I want it to do, and I got to really think about what I want to make of it. I feel like this door opens easily for you. It's just realizing I have to start thinking about it while I'm still working with what I'm working with. Because like those next 10 chapters are going to fly by quicker than I expect. Be careful not to just go into rote routine. Because if you just kind of like roll with it and just kind of like, oh, it'll just balance itself out, you may not end up where you want to. If you just keep going with the natural energy, you might default somewhere that you're going to look back later and go, oh, I don't know why I chose this. This is not where I wanted to be. I don't know how I ended up here. Be careful not to just flow with the energy at this point, which is ironic, because I know a lot of people have that philosophy in life. Just go where the energy takes you. I don't know. I'm not that one. But you could go that way, but you may end up in a place that's very good, but it may not be where you really want to be. Keep that in mind. Have we not all ended up somewhere along the line where we're like, okay, I can understand why I'm here, and I guess it's a good thing, but did I really want to be here? Did I really want to be here? You don't have to settle for that. The idea is to kind of consider just thinking about what really works for you, what really brings you to where you want to be. And not just flowing with it, kind of like that door's opening easily, let's just go with that. Instead of doing that, saying instead of that door on the first floor, which is I can get right in there, it's not a problem, what if I actually want that 3rd floor? What if I want that 7th door on the 3rd floor? Why don't I go for that, since I'm putting in the effort anyway? Just because that one door is on the 1st floor, like instead of walking up the stairs outside, I'm just going to end up walking them up on the inside, and then I'm stuck in that subject. Why don't I walk up these stairs on the outside, get in the door I want, and then I can decide what I need from there? I don't know if I made that too complicated, but basically saying, looking at it kind of like, you know what, I can get in that 1st floor door very easily. It's not even a problem. So instead of just kind of going, all right, that's where it's taking me, I'll just go there. Thinking it through a few times, dare I say overthinking it. One of the few times in life, well, maybe not few, but one of those times in life where overthinking it or rethinking it might actually benefit you. I don't like the idea of overthinking it. I feel like I'm using that wrong. But hashing it through a few times, going, if I take the 1st door, this is where that'll take me. If I take the 2nd floor door, this is where that'll take me. There's a 3rd floor door. Actually, there's a few of them up there. Would that lead me, like when I'm all said and done, if I look at all these things, when I'm all said and done, where do I actually want to be? And kind of like giving it a little, I keep thinking overthinking. Like I feel like maybe other people would call it overthinking, but in the sense of like making a choice to where you really want to be, and just realizing when I get to the end of the 5th chapter, I need to be able to go because I'm going to head somewhere. It's like the deadline's coming, I have to choose, and then just going, okay, that's the door I want. So I'm only allowed to overthink it so far anyway before I have to choose. Might as well know where I really want to be. If I just kind of go to the default energy, I don't feel like I'm thinking it through. So if you end up overthinking, I wouldn't feel bad about it because seems to be like there's a spot where I have to choose anyway. So I can make a better choice. I can make a better choice overthinking versus underthinking. Take it with a grain of salt. Take it with a grain of salt. Because again, I keep getting this spot where like I'm going to need to choose at some point to go a direction. I'm going to be like, uh-oh. Got 3 floors here, a few doors on every floor. Which one do I want? And if I haven't really thought about it too much, I'll be like, well, the first floor door is here. Might as well go in that one. It's the easiest one to do. Let me just go in there. I feel like I'm going to default somewhere that ultimately I won't want to be. If I overthink it a little bit, I feel like I'm like, no, actually, I want that 3rd floor, and I want the 7th door on the 3rd floor. All right, let's do it. Let's just keep going because I feel like I need to make my decision. And also, by overthinking it a little bit, I'm killing myself that I keep doing that. It's driving me nuts. By overthinking it a little bit, I do see, like, I'll know the questions to ask to move forward to the next era. I will know the questions I need to ask to know, is the 3rd floor, 7th door, is that really for me? Let me ask, if I go in that door, is this going to happen? Will that be there? Will this be there? Could this be a possibility? I'll know the questions. I'll have educated questions to ask. And ultimately, by doing it that way, you find your passion, and judgment goes in your favor. It's not the easiest to get there, but it is a really great ending, not for nothing. If you end up choosing this pattern, and you'll be very happy, and I feel like other people will be very happy with you as well. I don't feel like you need other people's approval for this, but you're probably going to get it for whatever reason. Or should I say, you'll get the right people's approval. Maybe not everybody's approval, but maybe the people who value you for who you actually are. I think we're there. All right. I'm going to shut this down here. Hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below, same email. Thanks again for watching. Have a great day.